Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm just starting off with my NYX Pore Filler just so I can give my face a nice base because I'm going for a very childlike little red. I'm not going for like a really grown. I just want her to be really childlike and charactery. So I'm just starting off with that, and then I moved on to foundation, the Covergirl True Blend, and I actually used a different brush. This was my first time trying it. It was like the old oval style brush, and it was by Danielle Creations, and I really didn't like it. So as you can see, I just switched over to my Wet n Wild brush, tried and true. Then I went ahead and primed my lids with the Lorac primer, and then I set that down. Next, I'm moving on to concealer. I just took my HD concealer from NYX, and I'll put all the shades and stuff down below, and I'm just highlighting my face. I'm kind of going ham with this stuff because it is a thinner consistency, so it doesn't really have a lot of coverage, but it's very buildable, and I like the finish of it a lot. Then I'm moving on to my Wet n Wild contour stick. I really focus on contouring my nose just because I wanted Little Red to have kind of a smaller nose, and then for the face, I didn't want necessarily chiseled cheekbones because again, I'm going for a more youthful look. Then I went ahead and decided to try the brush again, and I liked it better for the contour because this contour takes a little bit of work to blend out, so I felt like this brush really helped with that. Next, I went ahead and started blending out my nose contour. This brush set was actually a set, and it came with this little bitty one, and I like this one better, but then again, I just used it for the contour, so I need to see how it blends out concealer and such. And I'm blending that more towards my eye socket as well, just so we can start defining the eyes, keeping it high so that the eyes look bigger. Then I went ahead with the other side of the contour stick and started to brighten up the under eye. Again, I really just wanted everything to be bright, charactery, and I feel like brightening up the under eye really helps with that effect. And I'm baking with my Fit Me powder. You guys, after I tried it out in the back to school tutorial, I've been obsessed with this stuff, literally using it almost every day. Next, I'm going in with my e.l.f. blush duo. It's blush and bronzer. I'm taking the bronzer side, and then I'm just kind of going over all of the areas. Again, I'm more so bronzing the face, not contouring. I want to provide some warmth and definition, but not necessarily contour. For blush, I'm going in with this CoverGirl Cheekers palette. Again, all of the specific shades will be in the description box. And I am going heavier than I would usually for blush, just because, again, we want her cheeks to be very flushed, especially if she's going to get scratched by the wolf. She's a little bit flustered, you know what I mean? And now I'm moving on to brows and just brushing them out. And then I'm going to go in with my NYX Cake Powder. And the reason why I'm using powder is because I feel like it helps to give a fuller effect, because if you'd like to look younger, typically a fuller brow helps to do that. And powder really, for me, just helps to fill out my brows and make them look a little bit bushier. So I'm filling them in a little bit more than I would usually in the front, and I'm just kind of going through them. And then I go in with concealer. This is like a NYX pot concealer, and I'm just cleaning everything up because I went a little crazy. And that's just a Milani lip treatment that I just bought. My lips were pretty parched, so Then I'm going in with the Avant Pop Palette, and I'm just taking that peachy shade and running it and keeping it pretty high up because we want to leave the eyes open, and I'm just going to go ahead and blend that out. Next, I'm taking this mid-tone brown from the Too Faced Love palette, and I love this palette. It has so many fun colors and pinks, which is what I wanted to use to keep her really girly, and I'm just running that a little bit below where I originally put the peach shade. I just applied that really pretty pink shade. And I'm actually about to go over it with the white shimmer shade from the Avant Pop Palette just to brighten it up a bit, and then I'm just going to mix the two together. I believe I go back and forth between the two, and then I also put it a little bit on my inner corner just to brighten things up some more. I don't know what happened to the clip that showed me putting my waterline, but all I did was put the Milk Jumbo eye pencil, and then I ran the peach shade under my eyes, and then I just ran that mid-tone brown again. And I'm prepping for lashes, so I'm just doing my falsies, and I'm also putting a little line, and this is where the lighting gets crazy. I'm really sorry, but I had to switch things up because natural lighting was not being my friend. I highlighted with a little bit of the Hot Topic eyeshadow. I know, just find any eyeshadow or highlight of your desired choice. And then I'm popping on some Kiss lashes. I think they're in this shade Ritzy, but again, that'll be in the description. Those are popped on, and then I'm applying mascara. Now the most anticipated part, I assume, which will be the gashes. So basically I just took Kleenex and liquid latex. Now there's a billion different ways to do it. However, like I mentioned before, I wanted it to be more character-y. I didn't want it to look exactly real, just more comic-like. So I just cut little triangles and then I ripped them apart. And so what you're going to do is you're going to make sure you separate the Kleenex because there's two layers to it. You also want to make sure that you don't just cut triangles. You want to kind of rip it to where the edges do not look perfect. Then I applied the liquid latex as a glue. So I'm going to put that on my skin as a base, then put it where I want it. And the most important thing to remember is that the liquid latex provides the texture that we need to cut into, which you'll see later. So I made sure to apply a lot, kind of like paper mache, and also when you get the shape that you want, you don't necessarily need to cover that entire piece again. You really just need to focus on making the thickness of the cut, or making the center of the cut the thickest part, because that is the part that we're going to cut into. So I'm just gonna let you watch me do it because I feel like it's a little bit easier. So just really remember to apply the most Kleenex in the center, and if you like the shape, leave the edges alone. Next, I'm taking some Ben Nye foundation, which is totally unnecessary. I just have it because I already have it around. But the thing to remember is just to take a thick foundation. And I took a wedge and I covered it up so we can match our skin tone. And this is the part that I meant when you want to make the center the thickest part, because that's the part I'm cutting into and separating, because that's going to essentially be our gash mark. And I'm using eyelash scissors for this because they're a lot smaller. So I'm just cutting the center, and soon I'll be applying blood. And if parts become a little bit looser, you can always go back in with liquid latex and just apply it like glue. Then I'm just going in and applying blood into the open areas. Make sure you try not to get it too much on the other parts because it makes it look more realistic. Then after I'm done with that, I'll be about done with this look. Alright guys, that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching my first Halloween tutorial of the season. I had so much fun filming it. Please subscribe and I'll see you next week. Bye guys!